Star Report. I'm your host, Star. It is Thursday evening. Welcome to the show. Troll babies, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Showrunner, modern basketball shoe traction. This may or may not be a research show this late at night. I don't know. But I was talking to a couple of people with regards to high top sneakers versus low top. That old discussion, which sneakers are better for basketball players. Florida Boy Jay may or may not tap in, but anybody else who knows basketball or the world of sneakers, please call in. Call in. Don't send me a bunch of emails after the show. I'm not going to read them. I'm just being honest with you. The time to address this is during the show. So the whole, high top versus low top, I was under the impression that, high tops are better, more support for the ankle. But after looking at some videos, doing some research, I have found a video that I think is pretty credible. Some guy claiming to be a doctor, I don't know, talking about the traction of modern basketball shoes and the different steps now that the basketball players take and how they can strain the muscles or whatever those technical names are. I'll play the video and then we can figure it out. And that made more sense to me in similar fashion to how once upon a time, your NFL players in the National Football League started developing something called turf toe because the traction was too good on the artificial turf. Whereas, back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, they ran on grass. So the artificial turf actually increased injuries. Okay, but let me just play that video and then we can chop it up, all right? Also, I have two questions, but the first one I want to ask you now. If you're from the New York tri-state, I want to hear from you because AOC, Alexandria Cortez, they are exposing the F out of her up there. And somebody from her old high school, Yorktown, New York, put her high school yearbook picture online. And again, they used to call her Sandy, not Alexandria. I mean, that's her government name. But she has been exposed as a fraud. Her whole thing was, I'm a Bronx girl, yada, yada, yada. But come to find out, and I don't know if she's addressed this in detail, she was born in the Bronx, but then her family moved when she was like 4 years old up to Yorktown, Westchester. So this whole B-girl image is bullshit. My question is, do we owe J-Lo an apology? Jennifer Lopez, who has been hated on by everybody, but she's from the BX, born and raised, yes? Troll babies. Come on, it's time to now own up. Do we owe J-Lo an apology? Thank you for your donation, A Boogie. Okay, Dame Dash. Yeah, high top joints. We'll get to that. Give me a second. Do we owe J-Lo an apology? Come to find out now she's more authentic than we once gave her credit for. We'll discuss it later, okay? All right. I see someone in the queue already. Sit tight. I do want to, again, play some videos. This will be a research show of sorts. Oh, and did Iran open up a can of whoop ass on Israel? They got some type of missiles that now has Israel talking different. Back in the days, we used to call that act right. I got that act right for you. That thing that makes you act right. Yes, no, troll babies? I got a video for that as well. Did Iran open up a can of whoop ass on Israel? Kuala, is that you, area code 272? Kuala with the T.
Yeah, what's going on, Star?
What's going on?
Hey, listen. Let me tell you something. Listen. First of all, the high tops are better than the low tops. Here's the why. The reason why the high tops are better than the low cut sneakers is because the high top supports your ankles. See, growing up back in the days, we used to wear ankle braces on our ankles, support our ankles. Whether you played high school ball, played on the street, that's what we used to wear, ankle braces to support our ankles, right? So when you wear the low top, when you wear the low sneakers, they're not supporting nothing. That's why a lot of these people be having ankle injuries, Achilles injuries, because there's nothing supporting the bottom part. With the high tops on, at least it supports most of your ankles and stuff like that. So no, it is a difference between low cut sneakers and high top sneakers. And anybody know when you was in high school or you was in college, most of them gave you high top sneakers.
Okay. Can I jump
They
in?
didn't give you low cut sneakers.
Can I jump in, Kuala?
Yeah,
I used to think like that also. Come to find out, according to this doctor whose video I'm going to play, he's saying something totally different. He's saying that it has to do with the newer game of basketball and some type of extra step and how they are rupturing the muscle. And I'm going to play it, but it kind of makes sense to me now because over the last decade or so, the game has changed. And I was thinking that a lot of people were traveling now. Have they given basketball players some type of extra step? It looks different than it used to. So your theory that I used to support, I don't know about that now.
All right, so here's the thing. All right, so the problem with what he's, all right, so I get what he's saying about the traction of the sneakers, right? Because the traction. You can't, a lot of people don't know this too. You can't wear certain sneakers on a basketball court. You can't. Okay. Right? Because the traction of a basketball court, right? So I'll throw a random sneak out there.
Well, hang on a second. Kuala, before we do a deep dive, pause. Let me play the video. But I need just a few minutes. Can you hold on or do you want to call back? Let's play the video.
No, I'm good. Go ahead. You good? Go ahead.
Stay there.
And I think where we're going and what technologies we're putting into shoes, and like I said, what we're prioritizing in basketball shoes may have some interesting use cases and have some interesting benefits, but they also have risks. And so I think that we do need to talk about those types of risks. And I think really nothing illustrates that better than what just happened to Tyrese Halliburton. Because although, yes, he just suffered another gruesome Achilles injury, this whole injury process and all of this started a few nights ago and a few games ago with his previous calf strain. There's a bigger topic here that I think you all need to know about because you could be putting yourself at the same risk, or at least you should understand them before you go blindly looking at what the newest rage is or the newest hype is in shoes. Let's get into this. Now, prior to Tyrese Halliburton getting his calf strain, he had been having some calf soreness. And so he had been, working up to this injury. And one of the biggest causes of muscle failure, Achilles failure, anything, tendon failure, fascia, whatever, is repetitive micro trauma, which is from overuse, which is, from improper load management. And so, when you
repetitive micro trauma from something overload use,
play a lot like Tyrese Halliburton has, you're putting your body through a ton, and he plays pretty hard and plays a lot of minutes. The thing is that a calf strain, calf strains are actually very, very common. Now, your calf muscles, they're actually two muscles. One is the gastrocnemius, one is the soleus. The gastrocnemius is the one that's more typically strained, right? Those two muscles come together, they make the Achilles tendon. The gastrocnemius, though, we call it the gastroc, actually crosses the knee joint and the ankle joint. And there are two heads to it. So when it attaches on both sides of the knee, on the distal end of the femur or the south end of the femur. And so when a lot of times when the ankle is loading, right, when it is straining the calf, the Achilles, and then the knee is also extending, you're putting a lot of strain on those two heads of that muscle. And you do it enough time, you do it violently enough, it can pull. Because that is one of the muscles, like I said, muscle and tendon, right, it becomes the Achilles, that crosses two joints. And they're two big joints that do big work, the knee and the ankle. And so the mechanics of a calf strain or a calf pull, it's pretty darn simple, but it's what are the risk factors besides too much playing time, not enough load management, not enough recovery. In terms of shoes, interestingly enough, it all comes down to grip. There are some stability elements in the shoe.
Here we go.
It's the grip of the shoe that can actually really increase the load on the calf muscles. Specifically, it's the rotational grip of a shoe. If it is too high or just very high, because there's no give there, your body continues to rotate. Even, I mean, we're talking micro movements here, right? And a lot of times macro movements, right? If your uppers aren't containing enough, we'll talk about that. But if the shoe is grabbing into the ground too much, what's happening is the body is still moving within the shoe because the shoe is now more stable than the body.
Let me stop it right there. That's what they were saying about the NFL decades ago when they started using the artificial turf on the fields. You were getting too much traction. Kuala, are you there? Did you watch some of that video? Kuala.
Yeah, I watched everything. Now, I will say he's telling the truth about the football field and the turf because that's why they was getting. That's why.
No, sir, that was me talking about the football field. He was talking something else. If you paid attention, now let me just ask you this: today's basketball players, they play more games and they play around the clock more. You got AAU, you got all these tournaments, so they're playing more than they did back in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s. Yes, no.
Yes.
Come on.
You're completely right. So the NBA, they play a total of 72 games, right? They play 72 games, right? And that's not counting the preseason games. That's not counting the playoffs and none of that, right? See, the problem is that what he's saying, it is a texture of the sneaker. That's number one. Number two is the grip of the sneaker, which is true, right? The problem is a lot of the sneakers they making now are cheap brand sneakers. Yes, you might have your Nike name brand or your Jordans, but the market where they're making them, they're cheap now. We done seen Zion Williams where he was playing in Duke and he busted out of the sneaker. He busted out of the sneaker on the basketball court, right? So we've seen these issues with the sneakers and stuff like that. So it's not about whether high top or low top, but everybody knew for years the high tops were the sneakers to wear because it did support your ankle, right?
Well, hang on a second, Kuala, with all due respect. Now you're saying it's not about the high top or the low top. When you first came on the line, with all due respect, you said the high tops give you better support. This guy said something totally different. I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I don't know. I've never played basketball. I don't like the game.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is the high top sneakers growing up for me and playing basketball, whether I was in high school or grammar school, we always got high top sneakers because it supported your ankles, right? And then sometimes some people wore ankle braces also for extra support on their ankles, right? The problem is if you wear the low top sneakers, right? I don't care what low top sneakers you wear, whether it's the KDs or whatever you wear, there's no support on that ankle. So the minute you twist that ankle, you're going to feel it.
Gotcha.
Now, with the high tops, you got a better chance of not twisting your ankle with the high tops because if you do, you still have some type of cushion or support on your ankles.
I got to jump in. That makes sense. And I need you to land your planes. I got getting backed up on calls and videos here. Okay, so this guy's making sense. I don't know who he is. I just stumbled across his video, and I thought we could have a conversation because what he's saying to me with regards to modern basketball shoe traction and the way that they play now, it makes sense. So I don't know if high tops are necessarily going to help you. Land your plane, please.
Okay, and I'll land my plane this. I'm going to tell you right now. I'll give you one player that was a prime example of what was happening when he was wearing them low.
You got 30 seconds. Can you make it fast? 30 seconds, please.
Steph Curry, when he first came to the NBA, he kept getting ankle injuries and he kept wearing low-top sneakers until he transferred into high-top sneakers and wearing ankle braces.
Okay. Good to hear from you, man. Thank you, Kuala.
All right, Warren.
Okay. Some of you are sending in cash apps. I appreciate you. Oh, the Most High. Oh, well. The Most High. Hey, if I don't know, I tell you I don't know, but I let him talk. He's a great guy. Kuala, the Most High says, please hang up on son respectfully. How do you not know it's 82 games in an NBA season? What the fuck? We're going to play another video with regards to the armed black woman sitting in a lawn chair down in Houston. She's okay. It was a standoff, so they're saying. I think that the mainstream media just blew this thing out of proportion. A standoff. She wasn't hiding behind a goddamn vehicle. She had a gun to her head. Hold on a second. Jamal, I got your donation. Are you tapping in, sir? If not, thank you. He says the extra step is now called a gather step. Hashtag terrible. Aha. When did that start? The gather step. The game looks different to me now. And I'm like, are they traveling? Christopher, got your donation. Thank you for your support, sir. Okay, I don't see a message, but thank you. Someone else says, okay, folks, you have to contact Deeds with regards to the live chat. I don't know what's going on. I don't get involved. I'm very fortunate to have Deeds and a few other people that handle these things. Hang on a second. Where is Deeds' information? I will say this, though, with regards to, you know, sometimes if you're doing too much in the rebroadcast, do the trolling in the live chat, but don't take the trolling to the rebroadcast. This is a machine. We want new people coming in and feeling comfortable to comment. If you've been blocked, holler at Deeds. I don't handle that, but thank you so much for reaching out. Okay, and I did speak to Kuala. Okay. Let me bring in area code 786. Good evening. Are you there? We're talking about two topics and a question as well. Are you there? 786.
Star, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Justin, first time caller, long time listener. 26, just been listening.
Okay.
I've actually had this conversation with a few people, and I think it does have to do with the shoes. I don't know if you remember a guy some time ago named Kevin Ware. He broke open his knee in college. Do you remember that college basketball maybe about 10 years ago? He was wearing
not really, and I don't mean to cut you off. I've always been under the assumption that high tops were better for your ankles. Was I wrong? Because this guy who's got a lot of content on, you know, not just sneakers, but the bodily parts, seems to know what he's talking about. Was I wrong?
So, I mean, I personally think, and I haven't played college basketball, but I've played basketball on a rec level and in high school.
Okay.
I do feel like high tops do support you more. It's just common sense. It's more support up there. Okay. But I know plenty of point guards that like the low cut Kobe's, the low cut Kyries that don't necessarily have the most ankle support. So I think it's a preference. But I think what he's saying about grip is really the most important, because again, even with Derrick Rose, Kevin Ware, the guy that I'm telling you about, and other players with similar aggressive play styles, what happens is when you make those hard cuts, those hard breaks, if the shoe is gripping the court too much, what ends up happening, like the guy says, your body's shifting.
Right.
So I certainly think there's a theory to it. I'm not a doctor. I'm closer to a lawyer than a doctor.
Okay.
So I can't really provide any advice on that. But that's pretty much all I want.
Well, hold on a second. Stay with me. How old are you? Can I ask that question? How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay. Turf toe. That's an old, expression or reality in the world of the NFL. And I remember the Minnesota
Dolphins?
Minnesota Vikings. Oh, okay. They had, for years, the artificial turf. It was a very hard surface. And that's what they were saying, that particular field gave NFL teams trouble when they went to Minnesota. I don't know what they use now, but turf toe was a reality because of the traction. Have you heard of the Kobe sixes? There's another video I'm getting ready to play. It seems like a lot of people now are wearing Kobe sixes.
Of course. I mean, I'm familiar with all of Kobe's line of basketball shoes. The idea is pretty much the same. It's always like that low cut right under the ankle.
But why the sixes? Why is a lot of people wearing the sixes?
So this is the popular shoe out. When I was growing up, so probably about 10 years ago, we were wearing Kobe 8s.
Okay.
We're also wearing Jordan 4s. So it's just a popular shoe out. He's going to continue putting out crazy colorways even in his afterlife. So people are going to buy them.
Okay. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Thanks for tapping in.
All right, Star. Have a good night. Thank you.
Right. Is that the most high tapping in area code 347?
Star, peace.
Peace. I'm trying to educate myself, and I'm really interested in this topic. Was I wrong? Does it even matter now about high tops versus low tops and the traction? And where are we?
Well, I'm not going to say it. Well, let me say this. With the new sneakers, the more modern design sneakers, I don't think it does matter. I think there's faulty designs. There's faulty materials being used, and the whole concept of what they use, the concepts that they use to design sneakers now, obviously are not for the benefit. You're not getting, the quality and durability that you once got from, let's say a pair of Air Force Ones back in the days.
Okay.
So, to be very honest with you, I can speak on this topic. I'm a reformed sneaker addict.
Come on,
right? I'm not proud of that, ladies and gentlemen. That means I was living above my means for a very long time. But I was a slave to fashion. You know what I mean? And I still got mad kicks here. So I still got a lot of retro kicks and all that. But Air Force Ones, I'm a proponent for Air Force Ones. Now, somebody who's 50 plus years old, I've seen a lot of the guys in the early 80s rocking those in the New York tournaments and in the parks around my way or whatever. Very durable, very reliable shoe. One thing I'm going to say in comparison to Air Force Ones, to new shoes, the flat sole of the shoe, that there's not a lot of it's a flat sole. It matches your foot.
There's not a lot of give and take in those shoes.
It's basically like the Air Force One is basically as close, in my opinion, as close to a replica of your actual natural foot on the surface, and whatever materials they were using in terms of the heel sole of the actual shoe matched better. It was just more durable for the human body, and the constant, jumping up and down. I'm gonna say pause in advance, but the jumping up and down, the constant pounding and punishment that you put on your feet, that if you were not playing with shoes on, they had to take a step up from how thin the sole on Chuck Taylor's once were, and step up their game. So Adidas was the first one to widen the sole on basketball shoes, and then the Nike Air Force One took it to a next level.
Let me jump in for a second. Have you ever worn the old Pumas from the 70s? They were kind of similar to Air Force One.
I had Clydes.
Okay.
I had Clydes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
From the 70s in particular, they had very flat at the bottom. Were they like
Yes, sir.
the Air Force Ones you're talking about?
Yes, sir. I'm saying the Air Force Ones copied. Thank you for bringing up Puma Clydes.
Yeah.
Air Force Ones copied from the shell toes
Adidas.
and the shell toe Adidas, right? And remember, Kareem was the first one to endorse Adidas as a basketball player, if I'm not mistaken, or he was the most famous endorser. But the Puma Clydes and the Adidas precede the Air Force Ones. So yeah, thank you for bringing up the Puma Clydes. That's a definite fact. That's a whole fact. And if you look at the design, flat soles, thick rubber, or whatever they had, that they were using. And again, it wasn't so much about the design on the outside and on top, the colorways or whatever. So I think there's a direct distinction or direct correlation between the design of sneakers nowadays to compared to what they once were. And also, I don't know if this is too much to divulge or whatever,
I'm learning, man. Take your time, and don't let me forget to ask what type of sneaker was Grant Hill wearing back in the days, because he had
Fila's.
Okay,
Fila. Right. He started off wearing Fila's, right? He was the first one to endorse Fila when they went to a basketball shoe. Him and Jerry Stackhouse, but it was really Grant Hill was the first endorser, or the first flagship athlete they used to endorse their
Did he
basketball line of
did he have soft bones or something? Because he messed up his ankle early in his career. Correct me if I'm wrong. They had to put screws in his goddamn ankles,
and it became a recurring injury. Yes,
Right.
sir. It helped stunt his growth career wise. That's a whole fact.
Right.
Also too, let me throw this in too. In 2019, February, I think 20th, 21st or something like that, Zion, the Duke and North Carolina were playing in Cameron Indoor, which is Duke's home arena.
Okay.
Zion Williamson, his shoe exploded during the North Carolina Duke game. I'll send you the picture. Very famous. It was the PG8s.
Oh
the
my
PG8s.
God.
Those are Paul George's signature sneaker. February 2019. It was on Sports Center. It was definitely covered heavily. Nike had to issue statements and apologies and mea culpas and all that. Stock, I think, dropped and all that. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the picture of that. It's very much documented.
Hold on. When you say exploded, caught on fire or just something?
He busted. Pause. He bust through the shoe.
Okay.
So, and also what I wanted to say is, Bobito Garcia hooked me up back in the days.
I know Bobito. I know Bobito.
Yes, sir. Good dude. Definitely somebody who gave me opportunity to co-host, radio with him and all that.
Great guy.
So he was yes, sir. He was on CP's show this morning on the live and all that. So yes, sir. So Bobito is a staple and a sneaker magnet,
yes.
You know what I'm saying, in the sneaker culture. He's written books, all that.
Right.
I used to be an intern for him and all that. So that being said, I used to co-host a show with him. He helped me launch the Nike ID program, or whatever you want to call it. God bless the dead Clark Kent. Clark Kent was there. I got evidence of all this. I will send you photos of the shoe that I designed.
Hold on. Clark Kent and I are very cool. He had a crazy sneaker collection back in the day.
Yo, that's a good dude, Star. That's a good dude, man. Salute to him, man. Yeah, no question. So this might have been 2007. Yeah. It might have been 2007. That's when Nike ID launched. And I was part of the first group of people who were chosen or invited to partake in the ceremony of the opening of the Nike ID line. And they allowed me to design my own shoe. I designed my own pair of low top Air Force Ones. I will send you the photo of that. So basically, I have a little bit of knowledge of designing of shoes, whether you want to talk about Tinker Hatfield designing the Air Jordan brand and whatever. So I got a very good history, knowledge of sneakers and all of that. That's definitely something, whenever you want to know about that, you can definitely holler at me.
Let me jump in. Let me read something here. Jamal sends it a donation. Europe now uses glass basketball courts to reduce injury. What is that? Europe now?
I never heard that. I never heard of that.
Jamal, can you, if you have time, anybody send me a YouTube link or anything I can read or play? We're having a good discussion here. Guys, I got the Most High on the line with me here. We're talking about high top versus low top sneakers, and we're doing somewhat of a deep dive. Pardon me. Let me get my email address back on the screen here. Thank you, Jamal, for your donation. Hey, Patrice, I got your donation. Somebody else sent me an email. Folks, contact deeds if you've been blocked. I don't deal with that, with all due respect. Okay, I'm very fortunate to have deeds handle that live chat. I know that somebody the other day was putting somebody's home address in the goddamn live chat. Again, please stop it. That's the goofy shit we don't want to promote. Area code 202. Can you hold on, or do you want to join the conversation? 202.
What's up, Stars, Mari Mag, man? Boxing Logics Unite.
Hey, what's up, man? Do you want to hold on, or do you want to join with me and the Most High talking about high tops versus low tops?
Yeah, I joined and I heard.
Your phone's going in and out, man. Can you make the adjustments? Your phone's going in and out.
I'm sorry. Hello?
Yeah, we can't hear you, man. Do you want to call back or make the adjustments fast?
Can you hear? You hear me clear now, correct? I'm out of the tunnel.
A little better. Go ahead. You were saying? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, no, it's 100% agreed that high tops are definitely more safer and firmer. And low tops, but they knew this 40 years ago. I don't know why people are trying to reinvent. I think people are trying.
You got to fix the noise in the background, sir. Please, please. You can't kill the vibe. Come on, man.
Okay, don't worry. I'll jump off and come back.
Okay, thank you, man. Just call back. We can't do all that. Area code 910. Do you want to call back, or are you good to go? 910. Are you there? Yes, no, maybe. Good evening. 910. Okay. The Most High, back to you, sir. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Well, like I said, I definitely was enough of a sneaker fanatic to want to know about the designers of shoes and whatever. And like I said, I've been buying sneakers and going crazy since I was able to buy sneakers for myself, which is like early 90s or whatever. But my mother's the one who definitely started buying me sneakers every other month or whatever.
Okay.
So she got me used to this. So, but definitely my whole interest in sneakers was because of basketball. So when I used to watch the Celtic games or whatever, they used to have the whole team had green sneakers. Even though I hated the Celtics, I thought that was fly. So I definitely been invested in sneaker culture and the knowledge of and everything associated with it.
So this guy whose video that I played earlier, Foot Doctor Zach, the dangers of modern basketball shoe traction. Did you see that video? Do you know this guy's page?
I watched the video, and to be honest with you, that's about the most in-depth, detailed explanation in terms of sports injury that I've ever seen, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there might be one other doctor on YouTube that I follow that goes in depth, but in terms of what he just did and, making the correlation between the actual shoe, joints, ligaments, and bones in your foot, I never saw that before.
I'm gonna play one more video. Do you want to hang on? You want to stay with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. 4 weeks ago, he posted another video. I think Florida Boy J is there. Florida Boy J, sit tight. One more video by Foot Doctor Zach with regards to our main topic here.
Another Achilles rupture in the NBA. This time it was Jason Tatum. And it's part of, frankly, alarming trend that's been going on for years. There's a reason that they call Achilles ruptures career enders. Interestingly enough, basketball accounts for 47% of all Achilles ruptures in all athletes under 60 years old. The next closest sport is tennis. That only accounts for 13% of injuries. So it's concentrated a lot in basketball. And honestly, Achilles ruptures don't just happen out of nowhere. They are more predictable than you would think. And what you saw in this play right here with Tatum is part of a pattern that has been growing for years, both in pro sports as well as you just don't hear about it as much in amateur sports like what you and me do. So in this video, I want to break down, number one, why Achilles ruptures happen in the first place. Like, what is the mechanism? Number two, why is this happening now? Why are we seeing more of these injuries? And number three, how athletes at any level and at any frequency of play can reduce their risk. Because believe it or not, as much as this happens in pro sports, like I said, it is happening to people like you and me more. Okay, so first of all, let's see what happened to Jason Tatum. In this moment, Tatum's foot loads eccentrically. Now, what does eccentric loading mean? It means he stretches the Achilles while trying to also, or then sequentially contract it, meaning his heel is dropping, the calf is stretching, and the Achilles is under this massive tension while then trying to propel forward. Think of it like a huge loaded spring, right, trying to recoil, but the spring already has a crack in it, a rubber band trying to snap back, but the rubber band already has a tear in it. And unfortunately for Tatum, as you can see clear as day, with that negative step he took, he literally created the textbook mechanism of Achilles ruptures, a sudden transition from load under tension to push off. Now remember, this movement pattern doesn't always result in a tear or strain of your Achilles, or honestly, there'd be no one left to play on court. But there are several factors that increase your risk of rupturing your Achilles. Some risks are inherent to everybody, and some you can mitigate. Now, the Achilles tendon is really just an absolutely wild structure in your body. It is made up of two muscles, the gastrocnemius and the soleus, and it connects those two calf muscles to your heel. But those muscles don't just merge and run down the leg as the Achilles. The fibers of those muscles that create the Achilles tendon literally wrap and twist around each other like a mop wringing out. Now, this gives it insane power, but it also makes it prone to injury, especially in its middle area where the blood flow is poorest. Now, tears often occur here because of repeated micro damage from those fibers twisting and grinding on each other without any time to recover. Now, if that weren't enough, most other tendons have sheaths or wrappings around them that lubricate them, allow them to glide really easily. But you guessed it, the Achilles tendon doesn't have one. It has this thin little nothing film, which leaves it pretty exposed. I mean, you can just feel it right here. I mean, just touch the Achilles, you can feel it. And finally, if that weren't bad enough, one of the muscles that creates the Achilles tendon, the gastrocnemius, also crosses the knee joint, which then puts even extra tension on it. And yeah, I know what you're thinking.
I'm going to stop it right there. I think we've pretty much got the point. Let me also bring in the homie, Florida Boy Jay. Hey, man, thank you for your patience. Are you there? FBJ.
Hey, real niggas is never too far away, Star. What's going on, man? What's going on, man?
Have you been watching some of the videos that we've been playing or no?
Yeah, in and out. Me and my girlfriend, we're doing a hot pot date right now at the crib. So, I'm trying to, pay attention and, still, keep her attention at the same time. But I broke off.
Foot Doctor Zach, you ever heard of his YouTube channel? He gives great breakdowns, and we've been discussing high top versus low top sneakers, of course, but he's giving some better understanding to me about the steps and the traction with regards to modern basketball. Where do you want to jump in?
Right. And where I want to jump in is, to me, it's not about the shoes. Because if Dr. J, Oscar Robertson, and Elgin Baylor was dropping 60 in some hot box Converses that broke off your pinky toe after 30 minutes, and they was playing 2 hours with cigarette breaks, I'm pretty sure the low top, high top, it don't matter with the shoe. If they was putting up triple doubles in hot box Converse, the shoe's not the problem. The issue is this back step, like the doc was talking about, and me and you were on the phone earlier.
Right.
This back step movement, we weren't seeing Jordan doing it. We weren't seeing Dominique Wilkins with the back step. We never seen Magic Johnson hit this type of back step where the torque on that ACL muscle is strained.
Okay.
When we look at Kevin Durant, when we look at like you said, Jason Tatum, when we look at Halliburton, the back step is what pops that ACL joint. Klay Thompson, that back step, the Dame Lillard. But not only is it because of this new move that these players are doing with while they're ball handling, pause. It's also what, I don't know if callers have said it before, but it is the load management. Pause again. It is the load management that is not
hang on, Florida Boy Jay. Okay, yes. Foot Doctor Zach has been talking about load management, and when you say the back step, is the name for it the gather step, or is it the back step? I don't know.
I call it the back step. You can call it the gather step, either or. The only reason I call it the back step is because they're stepping back,
right,
but they're putting force on that to extend forward.
Okay,
and even
now,
with the NFL players,
hold on. I don't mean to cut you short. Is the back step the same thing as the gather step? Because Dee sent me a text here.
No,
saying,
sir.
Oh, it's different. Okay, the gather step in basketball was clarified and became officially part of the NBA rules in 2009. So that's something totally different. Gather step and the back step.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Gather
continue.
step is kind of for to prevent traveling calls and whatnot.
Okay.
What's really with the back step is, like we said before, we can watch old NBA coverage. We never seen Kobe Bryant really hit the back step, but when he did tear his ACL, he was driving off that back foot. That's what's causing it. But I think what's really the problem and what's really causing more ACL tears in the NBA and the NFL is, back in our day, Star, when you played basketball, you practiced all.
I never played basketball, sir. I was into hockey, motocross. I didn't like basketball. It was never my thing.
Okay. Well, let you guys know, when you went out, when you played basketball, yeah, you summer hoop, you did conditioning.
Okay.
But when the fall came, the first 9 weeks of the school year, you tried out for the basketball team. You got on there by the end of September, October. You did winter basketball, and after that, you may have played some AAU in between. And then you had the summer off, like these NFL players.
Okay.
You have consistent training camp season, and then you have the off season. Because we have all these regional camps with football, because we have all these AAU tournaments in basketball.
Right.
You get some of these basketball parents. They're playing a couple games a week. You got the school game, you got the prep game. Then on the weekend, I got to take them out of the country, or not out of the country, but out of the state for these tournaments where they're playing 5 to 10, 3, 4, 5 games a night. So by the time you get to college, by the time these kids are 18, 19, 20 years old, they're coming with 25, 26-year-old, 27-year-old knees, joints, ACL joints. So that's why you're seeing a lot of these young kids and guys at their peak of their careers.
Right.
You're not seeing these ACL joints pop when Kobe was in year 13, 14 at 34 years old. You're not even seeing them at KD when KD was 10 years in the league. You're seeing.
All right, hold on a second, Florida Boy Jay. Hold on. I want to look at something here with regards to what he's saying. This guy here, Dr. Zach. Sports-related ruptures. Basketball, 47%. Football, 12%. Tennis, 13%. So basketball appears to be the one that has the biggest injuries. The most high. Can we go back to you for a second?
Yes, sir.
According to Foot Dr. Zach's data. Go ahead.
No, I totally believe it. I didn't know there was that many Achilles injuries at all in tennis. So that's again, this guy is so detailed and in depth in terms of his information and his research. A lot of this stuff is all new to me, to be very honest with you. So big up you for even bringing it to my attention, because now I'm subscribe to his channel or whatever. But also, Florida Boy Jay, I must correct you, sir. Dominique Wilkins was one of the most famous, or the most famous NBA superstar to have an Achilles injury redirect or derail his ascent up into continued ascent up into superstardom. He messed up. He tore his Achilles, or he ruptured his Achilles in November of 1991 when he was with the Hawks.
But I will say this: him and Kevin Durant may be the only two where their scoring percentage didn't dip enough to make a significant change in their career.
Correct.
I will agree with you with Dominique Wilkins. It did adjust his career, but it didn't end it where he went from a 20-something point per game score to 8 or 10. Because remember when he got traded in '93, and he was the first time a leading scorer of a team got traded in the middle of the season.
Right.
Yeah.
So So same page. We're on the same page.
Can you?
No, my fault. But it's true. It just took away It just took away his extra athleticism. Yeah, explosiveness. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on, guys. All right. So D sent me a link here. I'm not sure if I can play this. I don't want to get a copyright strike, but FIBA's new game-changing LED basketball court. So now they're playing on LED screens.
Yeah. They have this thing where when they had the NBA tournament,
right,
they can basically mimic any court in any sport, in any arena, and put that LED screen and court on the floor. But I will say it's funny they can do that, but they can't put the NBA Finals logo on the floor or the giant trophy we had in the mid-2000s to add nostalgia to the game.
Okay,
that's crazy.
Okay. Hold on a second, guys. We're getting some good calls here. Area code 910. Do you want to join the conversation, or do you want to be on hold until we finish up here? 910. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, Star.
Hey.
Star.
Yes, good evening, sir. How are you? Good evening.
Star. Yeah, this is Jersey.
Okay, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. But like I say, I think them low tops are better than the high tops, because the low tops can help you, move your ankles. They can twist. The high tops, you can break your ankle. You know what I'm saying?
I'm listening to you, sir. I've never been a basketball player. I mean, it made more sense to me that the high tops gave you better support. You're saying the complete opposite. Can I ask, how old are you?
I'm 53. Yeah, for flexibility.
Gotcha.
Because if you got like something around your ankle, you can break it.
Sounds like you're saying high tops are better. Something around your ankle.
No, low tops are better.
Got you. Okay. All right. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay. All right.
Star, can I try to help help make sense of what he was saying. No disrespect to him, but
well, no. I mean, he said what he said. I mean, I didn't mean to cut him short, but I just.
But I think I know what he was trying to say. I think I know what he's trying to say. Let's say you have an ankle issue. You know what I mean? Let's say you want to protect your ankles. You want to wrap them. You want to wear multiple pairs of socks or whatever the case is. In some cases, depending on where your injury is at, you might want to wear low tops because let's say you want to buy a half a size bigger or a size bigger so you can wear an extra pair of socks or two, or have an ankle brace or have your ankle wrapped up, which it may allow different type of mobility. A lower top shoe might allow a better mobility depending on where your injury is at. So I've been through that, but like I said, I'm a proponent of wearing Air Force Ones myself because they're durable, flat sole, and whether high top or low top, I've never had a problem in those shoes. I don't care what anybody says about modern shoes being lighter or whatever. Ain't nobody playing the Air Force Ones. And let me say this too. We back in the days was playing in the parks, what they call a blacktop, concrete or tar, whatever the case is, all day, drinking bum-ass Sunny Delight and drinking fire hydrant water, playing all day. You feel all day, you know what I'm saying? And not getting, turning your ankle. Man up. You ain't trying to play no more. Tie your shoe tighter. So that's what we was doing back in the 80s and all that in the 90s. So I don't know what's up with these new kids. They playing in air-conditioned gyms. They got whole uniforms. You know what I'm saying? They paint their fingernails or whatever. I don't know what's up with these new cats.
Niggas coming out, can't hit a jump shot. We got the Iverson sleeve on their arms.
Well, hang on a second. Florida Boy Jay, did you play basketball or Florida Boy Jay? I've never heard you speak about playing basketball. You do? Come on.
Yeah, I played basketball and football. Sorry, you see me personally. I'm taller than I look. But yeah, I played sports before, man. It just when it got to a certain age and I knew, hey, I'm not in these prep schools, I'm not going to these camps. Okay. It's time to get on the block, man. We take the jersey off, put the black Air Force on and get this bread, man. But I will say this. Salute
oh, not the Black Forces. Not the Black Forces.
Hey, we had by 15 when it was like, hey, ain't no Division 3s, no Division 2s. Hey, it's time to go outside and get to work. But I will say salute to Rasheed Wallace, who was wearing Air Force highs and made a Hall of Fame career wearing Air Force highs with the strap in the back hanging off. Big man.
Pause.
Hold on a second, guys. Folks, we're having a good, fun conversation here about high top sneakers versus low tops. I just wanted a break from Diddy, Fat Joe, and trending topics. If you're not into basketball or sneakers, just sit back and let us just take the show into a different direction this evening. Area code 786. Are you there? Good evening. 786.
Star.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
So I just wanted to comment on what that last caller talked about on the movement of the ankle, right? Let's just be clear. Your ankle is only supposed to move in two directions. It's called plantar flexion and dorsal flexion, basically up and down. Your ankle is not meant to move in a circle. Yeah, it can rotate if you have to pivot or that kind of thing, but your ankle is meant to be held sturdy while your feet basically do the moving. So that whole thing about low tops being better, it's just really preference. There's no data to support that, really.
Okay. Well, I let people speak, but I'm more inclined now, having watched, a guy who does research talk about the sneakers and the traction and how it can tear these tendons and stuff like that. Your thoughts on that? Are you up to speed? What we're talking about here?
Yeah, so I actually heard what FPJ was saying, and if I could, I just wanted to offer this to him because he talked about
he's right there. He's on the line with us.
So FPJ, I'm speaking to you as a Florida nigga, down south 305 Florida nigga. So I'm saying you're talking about back then that these injuries didn't happen, blah blah blah. But you don't think the game has changed in the sense that players are cutting more, they're getting more aggressive, more shifty, more movement, and that's leading to injuries?
Oh, most definitely, I do agree. I watch old basketball. It's a lot of standing around. It's not a bunch of, like you said, a lot of cut moves. The players in the NBA and NFL have gotten more twitchier, they got more, fast paced. I do agree with everything you're saying as far as the game has evolved that has put more stress on the joints over time. But what I'm saying is compounding the evolution of the game is the evolution of these players. There's, the ABCD camps, the Nike camps. Like I said, the wear and tear on these young kids' body, that basketball, football, these are year-round things. So by the time they get to the NBA, by the time they get to the NFL, they have the wear and tear of a 4th, 5th-year player on their second contract. And that's why the NBA and NFL, you're seeing younger players at their peaks, tearing ACLs at critical moments in the season where you feel like, oh, it's the playoffs when Odell Beckham tore it or Will Halliburton tore it. It's the finals. It's game 7. It's second quarter of Super Bowl. Pop it, KD in 2019. You're seeing these ACLs pop in the most critical time in these players' careers. And it's to the point where it's happening to so many marquee players. We have to dial back the wear and tear on these kids.
Hey, let this man respond. Floater Boy Jay, let him respond, please.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying, and probably the fact that, like you said, it's also about conditioning, right? Because you have a lot of guys nowadays where, okay, during the season we're going hard, we're playing, and then the moment the season's done, we're back in the club, and then we think we're gonna turn it up as soon as the season starts again. That's not how your body works. So I mean, we're gonna see how it goes, but salute to you guys, respect. I see you holding it down for Florida niggas, so I just wanted to say that. Okay. Appreciate you.
Respect from 305, man.
Okay. I see a couple of people in the queue here. I have to text Deeds. Can you guys can you steer the show for a second? The Most High, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yo, so Florida Boy Jay, I'm gonna have to respectfully, as always, disagree with you in terms of the kids now are playing too much basketball or whatever. And to be honest with you, I think there's more fault in the training and the care of today's player. I think there's too much newfangled scientific research being done. Oh, sitting up, a cold tub and, hyperbaric chambers and all that. Prior to that, you might have had to sit in a tub full of some Epsom salt and raise your foot above your head, pause, to reduce swelling in your ankle or something like that. So I think that I think modern times and too much science is ruining everything nowadays. It's ruining sneakers. It's ruining how team doctors treat injuries and all that. I think there's too much babying and too much quote unquote pseudoscience being used to treat players. There's more injuries in every sport. In baseball, it's Tommy John injuries with the elbow. They're actually having kids. Yeah, they're actually having kids, and I'm saying it's a whole culture, basically. So I don't want to go off the rails, but it's a culture now.
I'm enjoying this conversation. I just needed a break from trending topics. Hold on a second. Let's continue. And Boris, you're now on the call, but let's go back to you, the Most High. Please take it away.
So I definitely want to hear what Boris got to say, but at the end of the day, I really do think that pseudoscience is in so many aspects of life. It has permeated sports, and it has made people overthink things and maybe baby some of these modern players or whatever. That's my personal opinion. There's too much different surgeries. There's too much different training methods that are out of this world that people who never played the sport are co-signing and implementing on modern sports.
Makes sense.
Yeah, hey, I got to sign out.
Okay.
I got to sign out, but real quick, let me land my plane. I do agree with what Most High is saying because, like I said before, man, in the 90s and early 2000s, these players were traveling on charter planes, sitting in economy after a triple overtime game, landing in the next city and having to the point now you got these team massages, team doctors. You got all these health experts, and these players' bodies are breaking down more than ever. So I just want to the pause.
Well, hang on, Photo Boy Jay, before you go, now, do you have any stats that as far as yourself when you were playing? What type of ball player were you?
Yeah, if you want to look up some AAU and some Pop Warner,
I'm just asking.
Especially in Pop Warner, after you took your picture, they would basically give it to your parents, whatever, and then they'll have your stat sheet. They used to give you little player cards back when I played Pop Warner football.
You got trophies?
So of course, I can probably find that. I got a couple old jerseys.
You got
we got trophies. We got trophies. We went to the state. We did go to state down in Orlando where you play down at Disney. We went to that. We lost, but we still went back-to-back years. I was on the A team. I wasn't on the B team. I practiced on the good practice field where we used to play the games. They didn't send me to the football field to practice. I was always one of them real niggas. And I want to say this start. Of course. I just gotta let some of these niggas know if you want to hoop football.
I just had to make sure you didn't have participation trophies, but
I was never a participation trophy. They wasn't giving me 10 plays a game, put me on the sidelines. I was starting on both sides of the field. I would say this. I want to say this before get off.
Why don't you hold on? I mean, if you're still here, let Boris jump in before you go, man. We can, we let you land your plane. Boris, you there? Or you good? You want Floor Boy J to land his plane? Boris? He's been on hold for a while.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry. You can let him land his plane.
Okay, land your plane. FBJ, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. I just want to say, everybody, if you want to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, Floor Boy J on the floor. We just went live probably like an hour or so. But Patreon numbers were released. Nice. We had to pocket watch and hate and break down what we think niggas is getting paid on a JVP and who deserves what off of a bag. We don't know. So if you are a JVP fan, a hater, please, I got a thumbnail of Joe Budden swimming in a pool of money with a Patreon sign behind him. We pocket watch. Subscribe.
All right.
I'll send you the link, and you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you.
Salute.
Peace, Lord.
Boris, how are you, man? We're just having a conversation about something that's not a trending topic. I just needed a break from the Diddy trial and all the other stuff, man. What do you want to chime in, Boris?
Yes, sir. I wanted to chime in on the whole high top versus low top question that you have.
Please.
I would like to lay some ground rules of thumb in the beginning. High tops, generally, they're considered better because they have better ankle support.
Okay.
They provide better ankle support. However, their drawback is the fact that they're heavy. They limit movement and mobility.
Okay.
Now, if you have a history of injuring your ankle, your coach will recommend you to wear high tops, not low tops. Low tops is preferably for those who do not have history with injury. These are the general rules. The main reason why basketball players, have ankle injuries, the number one reason, landing on another player's foot, awkward movement, sudden directions. I would like to tell you something. This has been one of the worst NBA finals in terms of rating. Game 7 was the highest in 6 years. However, 1 through 6 were terrible. The commissioner, Adam Silver, he was asked why he removed the iconic NBA Finals decal from the hardwood floor. He claimed because it caused injuries. Now, this is him being a hypocrite because they went all out, decked out the NBA Cup, which is the in-season tournament.
Right.
They put a big trophy in the middle, but they removed for the NBA Finals. What I wanted to tell you is that these decals are extremely slippery. I have a list here of some prominent basketball players and how they injured their ankles. They torn their Achilles. And what they all have in common is that they injured it with their off foot. Allow me, please, to give you
hold on 1 second. I just took in what you said. But I have to ask the question before I forget. Michael Jordan, did he ever have these types of injuries that seem to be so common?
He did not. He did not.
Right.
Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace, he was invited to Gil's Arena, and they chimed in on what happened to Tyrese Halliburton. Ron Artest said that back in his time in the NBA, players did not injure themselves like that, and I do believe him because back in the day, people, including Andre, would play 82 seasons
year after year.
82
You would
games?
think
82
that
games or what'd you
yes,
say? Games.
82 games, the whole
Games.
season. You would think that with modern technology,
Yeah.
you would improve. Such is not the case. The players are paper soft. They are extremely fragile.
Yeah.
You know, let me give you this list that I have
hold
here.
on a second, Boris. We got a bunch of people in the queue. Coming right back to you. The Most High, you good? Can you hang out? Stay with us for a minute?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And area code 832. Do you want to hang out in the queue or do you want to join the conversation? 832?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to call back. We can't do the speakerphone. Go ahead, Boris. You were saying? Go ahead,
Hello?
Boris. Yeah, sit tight, sir. Hang
Can you?
on. Go ahead, Boris.
Yes. So I will mention Jason Tatum. If you look at the footage, he injured himself with his off foot.
Okay.
Because this is what happens. Your body is not used to the brain moving faster than the body.
Right.
He injured with his off foot. Tyrese Halliburton, off foot. DeMarcus Cousins, before he became a crash out in Puerto Rico, he was a diabolical monster on the boards and on the points. He injured himself with his off foot.
Right.
Kobe Bryant, 2013, nothing was the same in the words of Drake. After that, 2013, he became washed, and he is my favorite player. Wesley Matthews, in 2015, awkward landing. Rudy Gay, and the list goes on and on. It has nothing to do with what you wear. It has a lot to do with the movement in your body wear and tear.
Right. Okay. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Ralph, I got your donation. Ralph says Michael Jordan always wore high tops. That's what I remember. And someone else sent a donation to Terrence. Terrence says NBA players will be in Crocs next. I don't know. And the Most High, you sent me a link here. I can't open it right now. Was it something pertaining to the conversation?
No, but basically it was the sneakers that I designed when I was with Nike ID, and basically it was receipts in terms of me doing the show with Bobito and the sneakers I designed.
Got you. Hold on a second, guys. Scotty says Jordan had a very significant ankle injury early in his Chicago Bulls career. Thank you, Scotty.
His rookie year.
Yeah.
A foot injury, rookie year.
Okay.
He missed 18 games.
Wow. Okay. Area code. Well, somebody was on the queue, but I think he had to go. Let me see if this is him right here again. Area code 832. Are you back? 832.
Yo.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, man. I disagree with that it's about have anything to do with shoes. I think it's the pace of the game.
Okay.
That the way the game is played now.
So are you in a headset? It sounds very echoey. Are you in a headset?
No.
Okay, good. You were saying?
No, I was just saying that I feel like it's the pace of the game, the style of the game nowadays. Just go. You got to pace yourself like, the old school game or, around the 90s and the 2000s. You had the inside out, fast break, all that there. But the go, that's a lot of stress and strain. Like, so I really think the style of the game nowadays is, I won't say trash, but I don't like it, to be honest.
It's a 3-point shooting contest game now. Yeah. Yes. Man.
Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that this NBA Finals, I watched it, but it was I liked at least out of probably any year. I'm 48 now. I wasn't really interested in it. It wasn't enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching the Knicks play the Pacers, and then after that, I didn't care about the finals. But the Most High, do you want to respond to what this man is saying, or do we let him land his plane? The Most High, please.
I have something to respond.
Go ahead.
I want to say that he is correct because the game is now being played at a faster rate. Before. You had 24 seconds to shoot the ball, and if you retain an offensive rebound, you still have 24 seconds. Now, one of the main reasons why you have a scoring inflation in the NBA is because when you retain an offensive board, you now have 14 seconds. They shaved off 10 seconds. you have Steph Curry introduced the three-point mania, in which everybody want to shoot like him. So the game is a lot faster. And like I told you before, the brain cannot keep up with the body. And your body is not built for you to move right, left, up, down. So he's correct.
And I would like to add this, like they were saying, when Jordan got injured, that foot injury at his rookie season, mainly because he was on go, 24/7 on go. He was a beast. But Jordan
was that his rookie season or his second season?
Second.
Either rookie. Or, but at the beginning, at the beginning, he was on go, 24/7. And over time, he refined his game. You know, and you pick your spots.
Okay. I appreciate.
One thing I'm going to say.
Well, let that man land his plane. So you have the final word. 832.
Oh no, that's just it, man. Like I said, I don't think it got nothing to do with the shoes.
Okay.
High top, low top, go-go boots. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way the game is being played.
Most high, you're incorrect.
I mean, that's how they show up to the game, anyways. You know.
Right. I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, Boris, you said Most High.
Yeah, I think he said that it was Jordan's rookie season, and I was correct. It was his sophomore season. It happened October 29, 1985.
Okay.
His second.
My fault.
So correct.
My fault.
Hold on a second. Jamala got your donation via Cash App. He says, check your email for the glass surface video. Okay. I got to make sure I can play that, but thank you, Jamal. And let me ask you a question, Boris. You're saying the game is faster now. So
correct.
The game is faster than what we used to know of by way of the Lakers fast breaks.
That was going to be my point.
Yo, because back in those days, whoa, were they moving fast, man. Magic and those guys, James Worthy, and that was fast.
But Star, you cannot conflate Showtime Lakers with the whole league. Okay. They were fast. Okay. I'm talking to you about the entire league has to play fast.
The game. Okay.
You're right. The game is played faster. You take the scrub, the worst player nowadays, they would wreak havoc back in the 70s. And that's a fact.
I disagree. Respectfully, I disagree, Boris. This is my thing, though. The players from the 70s, what the mere physicality and the focus on fundamentals and team ball would probably surpass what they do now. Just like how you said, it's basically we all can agree that's a 3-point shooting contest, and the most they're doing strategy-wise is running most teams are running pick and roll or what have you. So that being said, since we all know that every team from the start, your starting center to your point guard is expected to score or at least shoot from the outside or be 30 to 40% proficient from shooting from the 3-point line, is basically focused on that. So one thing I'm going to say is the Western Conference has always been stereotypically thought of as a faster paced brand of basketball. That not just the Lakers. We talking about the Lakers. We talking about the old Phoenix Suns. We talking about the Portland Trailblazers from the 70s into the 80s. Also the Denver Nuggets. Mind you, in the 80s, the Nuggets and the Pistons, I think it was a triple overtime game where at one point they had the highest scoring game ever in NBA history. So those teams, Doug Moe coached that team. Alex English was the top scorer at that time. So the Western Conference teams, the Dallas Mavericks too, Mark Aguirre, Rolando Blackman, Derek Harper, they all were faster paced
players from the 80s and 90s. I'm talking to you about, I said the 70s. But
what you did say though was that the Lakers, which the Lakers were not the Showtime Lakers in the 70s, they didn't become the Showtime Lakers until the 80s when Magic got there. So what I'm saying is, even in the 70s, the Portland Trailblazers were one of the teams. Also, the Rick Barry Golden State Warriors at the time. The Western Conference in the NBA from at least the mid-'70s even till now has been thought of as the faster-paced conference, and the Pacific Division was full of teams that played a faster-paced brand of basketball. That's all I'm saying in terms of that.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. 216, you're on the line. 216.
What's up, Scotty Cleveland, man? What's up, man? Dude's actually correct. He's very correct. The West Coast is always known for the run and gun or fast-paced offense. He's correct. The East Coast Conference was always inside out, which was a slower pace because they had the big men. They would run the offense through it. He's correct. Now, he spoke on the the Suns, the Dan Antonio fast-paced offense. Steve Nash was
Mike D'Antoni.
Right, he was point guard. UNLV running rebels in the 90s. Larry Johnson, Grandma Ma, running rebels. You're right about the Lakers with the Magic and James Worthy. We've always had teams in each generation that had an up-tempo, fast-paced offense. Now, I noticed that ankle injuries are up and ACL and knee injuries are down. Okay. I haven't figured that part out yet, but I ain't gonna hold you as much. No, but that part did resonate with me that I noticed that the ankles are giving out, but the knees are holding stronger.
You have the floor. Come on, you have the floor. Would somebody want to respond?
Oh no, that's it, man. I just wanted that. That's it. I'm landing my plane.
Okay, appreciate the call. Thank you much. Thank you much. Hold on, guys. Sit tight. Area code 601. You're on the line. We're talking about high top sneakers versus low top sneakers. And guys, this topic came by way of Florida boy Jay. About 2 weeks ago, he and I were having this conversation. I said, well, if we get a slow news night, I'll present this. So are you there? Area code 601. High top versus low top, which is best for you? Yes, no, maybe. 601. Got to go. Thank you so much. Let's bring in area code 202. Are you there? Good evening, 202. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I sound better.
Okay, you called earlier?
Yeah, this is Myron, man.
Hey.
Boxing Logics United.
Hey, man, how are you, man? Where do you want to start, sir?
I'm great.
Okay,
yo, I do believe absolutely it's the high tops.
Okay.
And I think it was Most High made a great example about it. I think it's the kids, the body is breaking down on these kids.
Okay.
Blame it on the baby formula, blame it on the GMO, but softer tops create softer people. I think the load management is also hurting them as well, because the muscle needs tension and strain to actually build. And so the truth of the matter is, ain't no shoe had more grip, I thought, in my opinion, had more grip and that was more perfect for basketball than Allen Iverson's Questions, the very first one.
Okay.
The grip on that shoe was so ridiculous. So I don't believe it's the grip that's causing these kids to really turn these Achilles. You got 6'10" guys trying to play like 6-foot guards. It's tearing these Achilles up. Before, you had the 16 guys that be banging down in the low post, doing all the stuff. All these big guys, the notice is the bigger guards, the big people who are shifting these ankles up like that, and their Achilles tendons. And that's because they're trying to play like they're actually 6'5" and down.
Okay.
Where they should be playing like they're 6'10". Jason Tatum being an example of it.
Okay. Anybody want to comment on this man's input? The Most High? Yes, no, maybe? Florida boy Jay. Pardon me. Boris, do we let this man cook? Okay, I don't think they're there anymore. Well, sir, you have...
I'm here.
Jump in.
I'm here. Just letting him finish.
Okay, so you have the floor. Go ahead and continue, please. Continue on.
But also, Grant Hill, you mentioned Grant Hill earlier in the cast. Mm-hmm. His injury was different for the fact that he was the first to get a particular type of surgery.
Okay.
He volunteered to get a new surgery that no one had got before, okay. And it had bum results. He was being a guinea pig for the medical industry, and that was horrible. But I do believe, but my man Most High hit it real hard earlier. The pseudosciences, all this crap is what's really ruining. These shoes are cheap too. Without a doubt, I don't believe you have better movement with low tops. I think the brother hit it real hard on that. If you have an injury, it might be better to wear a low top, but wearing low tops do not give you more mobility than wearing high tops. It just doesn't make sense because your ankles ain't going to move but so much different ways. It may be less comfortable, okay, wearing a high top, but it doesn't limit your mobility. A ball player is going to play. And also, ball players, because I'm a ball player, we play all year round. All year round. It's not like we're gym rats. So it's not like it's too much AU. It's not that it's they're playing this league or that tournament or this camp or that camp. Because we play all year round. The greatest players, the best, to get to that NBA, you play all year round, every day. That's your life. You breathe it. So it's not no crap that you got too much on your body. You got what Florida boy Jay said earlier, you got 70-year-old knees. No. What you got is you got that baby formula Similac knees. You got that baby formula Similac ankles, and your shit is weak. Part of my language. Yeah, no, 100%. The Similac baby formulas led to less bone density and bone dexterity. This is proven facts. There's studies on it. These kids are just a weaker genetic version because they ain't getting their mama's milk. I'll land right there.
Ooh, whoa. Salute.
Thank you for the call, sir. Thank you.
This is the truth.
Thank you. Salute. Okay. Boris, I'm going to let you land your plane. We've been having a healthy discussion here. It's not a trending topic. I just wanted to shift gears for a minute.
Well, I agree with the majority of what he said, but however, as far as the mobility and things like that, you can ask any ball player. For the most part, it's not a significant difference. However, those few ounces make the difference. So because they weight heavier, they will feel heavier. So they will impact.
I wish you would have asked about that when he was on the line because he was ready. You know, I mean, I want people to have a conversation.
No, I like to let people talk. I do not like to, but that's, as far as the rest of the things that he said, he was correct. But in terms of mobility, they do impact how you move. It's heavier. It feels heavier on you.
Are you a basketball player yourself, Boris? You play ball?
Like I told you in one of the previous calls, I'm one of those.
I don't remember. Do you play ball?
I play in parks in which I dress like a nerd, and then people think I cannot play. We play for money, and then the rest is history.
Is that you, the guy who goes to the parks in those videos? Is that you or no?
I do not know which video you're talking about, but it's fair to say that I like to deceive my opponent.
He's talking about George and West 4th. Yo, Star, I'm gonna send you a video. I'm gonna send you a video when I was in West 4th that I took a George playing some white kid one-on-one or whatever. Because I'll be in the parks. I grew up in the parks. I grew up in these gyms. You know what I'm saying? I told you I travel with show basketball teams and all that. So I know a lot of the top, New York City basketball players from the from the playgrounds and from the tournaments or whatever. So I definitely know New York City basketball and basketball in general. I'll send you that video of George too.
Okay. Hang on, Boris, before you go, I'm going to play a video a little bit later. Iran, do they have some type of monster missile now that's got Israel talking different? You have speed on that?
I mean, I do not know which missile they're referring to. From what I heard today, the Ayatollah came from his bunker or something, and he was flexing as if
they got some smoke for Israel, and it's got them, talking a little bit more tame. But Boris, I appreciate the call, man. Salute.
Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Okay. All right. The Most High, hold on a second, guys. I got the Most High. He's been co-hosting for the most part. We're having a good discussion here. High top versus low top sneakers, which is best for you? And I think we're pretty much done with the armed black woman, the grandmother, down there in Houston. She's okay. She surrendered. I think she just may have been just tired of, just family, friends, associates. She had a gun to her head, and I don't mean to make light of that, but there was no shooting that took place. They had SWAT, they had FBI. It was crazy. But Anyway, the Most High, go ahead and land your plane, man, with regards to the topic. I appreciate you hanging in as long as you did, man. The Most High.
Now, I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity. Salute to Boris, salute to FBJ. But the last caller, what I'm going to say too is, again, we had this same discussion when we were talking about the, Team USA not looking as dominant as they used to in the Olympics. Okay. And what that was about times make the man. So times have changed. Things have evolved, maybe not evolved for the better. So I think that is true. It might be GMO food. It might be, the pseudoscience. It might be the materials they're using and the design mentality that they have when they're creating these new shoes or whatever. Maybe there could be, listen, I'm a conspiracy theorist, to be honest with you, but I like to keep it, somewhat sensible. There could be a conspiracy to design these shoes so that people do hurt themselves. So they could, to be honest with you, because all that's going to do is do what the last caller said, is have people be guinea pigs to new medical procedures. Okay. Remember, Kobe Bryant messed up his knee, or his knee was giving him problems towards the end of his career. Definitely wear and tear. He was a maniac in terms of his intensity and his workouts, and you know how intense he was during the games, practices, and all that, right? So his knee started messing with him towards the end of his career. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure he went to Germany to have blood or fluid taken out of his knee, and they so-called spun the blood, or did some type of procedure that they said they spun the blood. Okay. And then re-injected it back into his knee, and that was supposed to help facilitate growth of ligaments or tendons and speed up the healing process. So these were unprecedented or newfangled medical procedures. Okay. And what better way to endorse your new pseudoscience or your new surgical techniques than having a world famous athlete and figuring like you could, and selling the fact that you could help him revitalize his career or continue his career with your new procedure. Okay. So these things could be a possibility.
Right. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, the Most High.
Peace, Lord.
Yes, peace. Hey, 301, I'm looking for a video, but you can join the conversation before we shut it down. Are you there? You ready? 301.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready, Star.
How are you, man?
Yeah. So the video you were playing about Kobe, that injury, I think you glossed over that injury. That injury Jalen Rose did when he intentionally put his foot under Kobe to injure his ankle. Okay. That was probably one of the worst things I've ever seen from a basketball player and trying to injure somebody. And that was Kobe's actually worst injury. He talked about it in his book that he put out, Mama Mentality. Okay. And during the summer, it was so bad that he had to figure out a way to play. He couldn't play much basketball, and he had to figure out a way to, get the ankle stronger. So he picked up tap dancing. Okay. So that alone right there tells you his dedication to the game. Right. He's not one of those guys who sat around and didn't try to get better every offseason. And I don't understand why a lot of ex-NBA players are throwing shots at Kobe right now that he's not with us no more. That's just crazy to me because, they weren't doing that when he was here. So why you wait till the guy's gone to take all these shots?
Anybody,
I don't want to name
anybody in particular? I mean, he's gone. Anybody who's like hating?
I mean, facts. I mean, Sebastian Telfair, he sat on Vlad's show, just taking all types of shots, talking about what Kobe was doing with other women. It was just crazy.
Wow.
Like,
Jesus.
It was distasteful, and Vlad was kind of egging him on. And I couldn't believe it, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But in terms of other
Sebastian Telfair from Coney Island, isn't he? Stephon Marbury's cousin or something like that?
Yeah, the bust. He was a bust. Yeah.
Didn't he go to prison for trying to sell guns or something from up north?
Yeah, he definitely went to prison. And then he got out and he was talking all reckless and just. He's lost, there was high expectations. They were comparing him to LeBron because LeBron and him both came out at the same time. Okay. And he never lived up to the hype. So there's a lot of anger there. I understand, but don't wait till 3 years later and you taking all these shots. 5 years later you taking all these shots. Mm-hmm. And then you also have what's his name, Tracy McGrady. He was talking crazy. He was like the other day. He was like, if I had everybody that. All the players that Kobe had, I would have been just as successful. And I'm just like, man,
whoa.
You didn't see it?
Hold on, Tracy McGrady. He played with Vince Carter up in Canada. right? They're cousins.
Right.
Okay.
And then he played for Orlando, and he talking crazy, talking about I would have did the same thing Kobe would have did if I had those players that he had.
Right.
Homeboy, you had Yao Ming, you had so many good players, and you could never win a championship. I mean, you went to the Spurs as a bus rider, you still couldn't win, and they're a dynasty. So come on, man, cut it out, man. Like you just hating.
Wow.
So but I will say that Kobe is my favorite player. But I don't think it would be somebody I wanted to meet because he probably, I mean, I understand he kind of was a little arrogant, I guess.
No, he was actually a cool guy. We had a small interaction. He was signed to Columbia Records, and I had just started working at Hot 97. Not that we had to speak or anything, but he was coming in, and I was going out of the studio. He spoke to people. He had some rap song on Columbia Records, and you know what I'm talking about.
It seemed like
go ahead.
It seemed like he changed when that incident happened with Karl Malone. When Karl Malone tried to hit on his wife, that's when he just was like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm just gonna do my thing. I'm not really homeboys with none of y'all. I'm just gonna go play basketball. And I feel like ever since that situation is when it kind of changed, and obviously the situation in Colorado, but it's just. It seems like these players is open season on Kobe right now, and I know that Matt Barnes put up a post the other day on. He put up a post the other day talking about you guys need to stop.
Hold on a second. Yeah, he signed in 1999, and his debut album, tentatively titled "Visions," was planned with the lead single being "Kobe," featuring Tyra Banks. I don't know if that album ever came out, but he did have a single. He came up to the station. He was cordial.
Yeah.
He was cordial to people. He wasn't like a prick, like, just ignore people. He wasn't that type of guy.
It was Steve Stout signed him, right? I think it was Steve Stout who signed him. And
I forget.
Steve Stout talked about how Kobe, he wasn't scared of nothing. He had an incident in the club, and that was crazy. It was a real funny story to see because it was Steve Stout telling it. But
Steve Stout, who did he hit over the head with the champagne bottle? Pow, in the office, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I just don't appreciate them guys. And come on, man. Like people saying Kobe wasn't a great player. Come on, man. 5 rings. He was a phenomenal player. He's not better than Bron or Jordan, but phenomenal.
Kobe didn't have to go join up with D Wade in Miami to get a ring. Okay, so let's just say that he'd have to go down there, link up, and play with other superstars to get a ring. Got it out the mud, him and Shaq. Go ahead, land your plane, man.
That's a fact. I lay my plane there. Kobe's in my opinion, he's top 10 all time.
Right.
And that's a wrap. Thank you,
sir. Thank you. Okay. Is this who I think it is calling back? You calling back? 440. Are you going to be my last caller? You going to drop a bomb on us?
Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I want to make sure that I catch you.
Come on.
The previous caller, I think his name was Myron. I know you do not like it when people take shots. I'm not taking a shot. I do not like it when people call with misinformation.
Okay.
For goodness sake, call the Star Report with accurate information.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said that Kobe Bryant missed the most field goals in NBA history, and sorry to break it to him, it's LeBron James. Right. And correct about, I was going to say that Kobe had a song with Tyra Banks, and as a matter of fact, Future had a sample of it with Metro Boomin called Like That.
Okay.
From the same song, K-O-B-E with Tyra Banks.
Yeah.
I just don't like it when people, do not have accurate information.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, I let him speak, but at the same time, it's like, I know analytics and stats are important, but a lot of times it's having an appreciation for somebody who tries, I mean, say what you...
Tracy McGrady is a sucker. Tracy McGrady is a sucker for saying these comments about Kobe.
Right.
This is not the first...
But hold on a second, Boris. I wanted to say this before I forget. Say what you want about Allen Iverson, but he was phenomenal to watch. I never saw him play in person, but he was phenomenal. Never got a ring, but you can never say...
Bubba Chuck was a problem.
Bubba Chuck. You can never say he wasn't one of the greats. I just wanted land on that plane. But I think he's calling back now again. You want to speak to this guy? Is that you?
Yeah, no
from
problem.
Earlier, 832? Is that you? Sir, you calling back? 832. You got to turn that down in the background. You're back on the line. Is that you? Let me put him on hold. And he's calling me on some type of loudspeaker or something like that. Boris, go ahead and land your plane. You were saying what now?
The last thing I wanted to say about was about Tracy McGrady. I do not know if he's having some midlife crisis, but
I don't want to waste time on him. 832, are you there?
Yeah,
832, you call us on the speaker.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I just called back last time, man. I just put some respect on T-Mac name, man. T-Mac was that dude. He got injured.
He was that dude that never got out of the first round. He was that dude. He never got out of the first round. Let me tell you this. The only time Tracy Bum McGrady came out of the first round was in 2013 when he made it to the finals riding the bench of the San Antonio Spurs. And he lost the ring to the Miami Heat on a miracle shot by Ray Allen. Get this caller off the line. He does not know what he's smoking.
Man, like I said, put some respect on T-Mac's name, man. Get some
sir, you're going to respond to what he said, sir. You're going to respond to what Boris just said, sir.
Oh, yeah. Like I say, you got coaching and you got the players. Yeah, he didn't make it out the first round, but talent-wise, man, T-Mac was that dude. So, I just want to say that. Put some respect on his name, man. He was one of the greatest, like I say,
you
barring
put
the injury.
respect on Kobe. You're talking about
definitely Kobe.
What do you say he missed the most amount of shots? He did not. That's LeBron James. You're a Kobe hater. You hating on him.
No, I don't hate Kobe. I ain't got nothing against Kobe. But I just heard was talking shit about Mac. No, Mac was that guy, man. That's all.
Oh, well, hang on a second, sir. We really weren't doing a deep dive on Tracy McGrady. You made a statement about Kobe Bryant. I let you speak. Now, Boris is saying you're wrong, and it's actually LeBron James with the most missed shots. Can you speak to that? I'm just having a healthy discussion.
I wasn't the one. I never spoke on Kobe. I wasn't the one that said Kobe missed shots.
That was you.
You did rewind the show. Why would I call?
That was you.
Why would I call?
That was you. That was you.
No, I didn't mention about no missed shots. That wasn't me. Nah.
Okay.
No, that's a mistake.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful...
respect to Kobe.
Okay, all right. Okay, now he's saying respect to Kobe. Hold on a second, Boris. Now people are calling back. We'll do one more caller. One more caller. Are you there? Area code 919. Are you ready? 919. Yes, no? Okay, thank you so much. Have a good night. All right, Boris, go ahead and land your plane, man. I got to shut this down. I got to get up early, Boris.
No, I already landed my plane. I was just as a trivia. I went to the game when Kobe Bryant passed Shaquille O'Neal back in 2012 for the 5th all-time, and I also visited his high school, Lower Merion. So Kobe is my favorite, and I'm not going to let anybody talk down on him.
Thank you, Boris. Thank you so much.